The Redskins have the experience at winning at Lincoln Financial. They did it last year, but can they do it here in Week 5? Jason Horowitz, Charley Casserly, glad to be with you on the NFL Previews presented by Comcast. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff in Charley. It's an NFC East battle. Philly coming off a disappointing loss. Washington coming off the biggest surprise win of Week 4. Just how crucial is this game for both teams?
Well, it's crucial from a couple of points of view. Number one, both teams have a division loss. So obviously one's going to have 2 division losses, but it's even more critical for Philly because you've got to protect the home turf. You can't lose a home division game.
Well, Jason Campbell last year was steady, not spectacular. They won 20-12 in Philadelphia. This year he has been spectacular the last 3 games, especially with Santana Moss. Why has that connection worked so well?
Well, I think I'm going to see the stats here on Santana Moss. Santana Moss last year was not 100% with his legs, whether it be hamstrings or anything else, soft tissue injuries. He looks great this year. He looks fast, he's quick, he's explosive. People are having trouble covering him, and he's a big factor in why the Redskins have got on this 3-game winning streak.
Will the Eagles have trouble covering him, though, because their secondary is great?
Well, I think what the Eagles have got to do is they've got to go into the game and take away Santana Moss. Whatever they have to do to double cover him, they've got to do that. You've got to force the Redskins to win. And here's an example of the Redskin offense, which really over the last 3 games has really improved. But what you have to do against the Redskins is force them to beat you with Chris Cooley, who's a good player, and Randall L. at wide receiver. But right now, Santana Moss is playing dynamite for him. Stop him first.
Randall L. did have a touchdown last week for the Redskins, so that certainly helped out Jason Campbell. Now, the other part that helped him out was the fact that they were able to run all over the Cowboys. Clinton Portis, a very good game. Does that change this week against Philadelphia? Do you think they'll be able to run on the Eagles?
No, I don't think they'll have the same success because here's what they did last year. Last week. What they did was basically run inside the tackles and run at the bubble of the 34 defense. Run at the linebackers. They did a great job of double teaming initially the nose tackle and getting then the guard up to the linebacker on the second level. So it was a good combination block. They ran at the soft part of the defense. The Eagles play a 4-3 defense. They don't have a real soft part the way they play that defensive line. I think you've got to aim outside at the Eagles against their underside defensive ends. I think the speed of the Eagles at home is going to hurt the Redskin running game. The Redskins are good enough to get some yardage, but they're not going to control the line of scrimmage running the ball like they did last week.
Speaking of running, of course, the biggest concern for Philadelphia heading into last week was Brian Westbrook. The biggest concern heading into the game this week, also Brian Westbrook. Now, he says he's more optimistic about playing this week than he was last week. There are some conflicting reports, and obviously, as we're taping this, it's up in the air whether he's going to play. If he doesn't play, how big of a loss is that against Washington's defense?
Well, I think it's a big loss because what Brian Westbrook does is score touchdowns. Look at that, 5 touchdowns in 3 games. He's a big play guy. Whether it's on a screen pass, out at wide receiver, out at running back, he can score from any place on the field. When you take him out of the lineup, the Eagles don't have that big play threat in the running back position. So that's going to limit their points. The Redskin defense, they played great this year. They played 4 good offensive football teams that have been solid in every game. So without Brian Westbrook and that X factor of big plays, the Eagles are going to have some trouble scoring points.
And of course, last year in this game, they had trouble scoring points in the game that they played at home, only putting up 12. Charlie, real quickly, when you look at this teams through a quarter part of this season, which one do you is the better football team?
Well, it's week to week, right? Right now, the Redskins are better. And the reason is this, and it's maybe just the Brian Westbrook factor of him being out last week, and all of a sudden, could that have made a difference? Sure, it makes a difference in the ball game. So both teams would have been 3-1. But the Redskins right now, Jason Campbell is operating well, but so is Donovan McNabb. The Redskins are better at running back right now. And, they went to Dallas and beat Dallas and held them down. Philly went to Dallas, could have won the game, but didn't win the game and gave up a lot of points. So the Redskin defense has played better on the road than the Philly defense has.
Philly defense on the road has been horrible. 65 points they've given up, but at home in 2 games, they've only given up 9 points. So that could be tough for Washington. Let's throw all those numbers and every other number into the computer. The AccuScore prediction, 10,000 tests, 10,000 results. And how about that, Charlie? 69% of the time, the computer has the Eagles coming out on top. The Redskins are 3-1.
No, the computer is off on this one here, at least in the percentages anyway. I've gone back and forth in this game because right now the Redskins are playing better football than the Eagles, but I'm going to pick the Eagles for this reason. The Eagles are at home. This is a desperate situation. You do not want to go to 2-3. I think Brian Westbrook will do everything he can play. Why? He's a Washington native. You know, he wants to be in this football game. And here's the other thing. Jason Campbell has not thrown an interception this year. I look for the Eagles to double-team Santana Moss, come with their blitz package, find a way to force Jason Campbell into his first interception of the year, and in a close game, I think the Eagles will win at home.
That's the key. I agree. Close game in this one. It's a 1 o'clock start, and of course, for more on this one or any other in Week 5, be sure to stay with CBSSports.com. Watch everything else on the CBS Audience Network. For Charley Casserly, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.